So hey everybody, this is a little reading I want to do. It's by request. A very, very good friend of the channel has asked for this reading. This is about spiritual path and mission. Okay, so we're going to focus on mission. And I talk a lot about this in the morning messages. I talk a lot about like what's next on the spiritual path. And you might resonate with it, you might not. You might need to go back a year. And then you're like, oh, wow, that does resonate with me. So I want you to check out morning messages and jump around and see what really grabs you. Okay. We make a playlist so you can check them out and just look at the titles and be like, okay, this one resonates with me. So today I'm going to talk about Ascension. I'm going to talk about spiritual path. And when we talk about mission, sometimes people get it confused with like a job title. Okay, it can be your work, but I think when we think in terms of a very 3D experience, it doesn't always translate. It's like spiritual energy doesn't always translate into 3D terms. You know what I'm saying? So you can use, however, the spiritual energy can flow in any part of your life. It has nothing to do with work or relationships or anything like that. The spiritual energy can flow anywhere. All right, so let's see where we go here for this little reading I want to do. I will go deeper in an extended if you want to continue on with me. If you want to explore your mission and path more. The North Node class I'm doing this month is going to be a lot deeper. It's going to be about working with the energy rather than just being aware of it and being like, okay, how does this fit in my life? Let's talk about that. Let's do the work of exploring the North Node that you have in your astrology chart, and then how might it apply to my life, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Seriously, transformation. This whole morning has been about transformation. The whole morning. Yep, impasse, traveling lightly, simplify your life. So there's change going on, and I feel like in a lot of your minds, or if you're watching this reading and the title, which I don't know yet, has resonated with you, you know that there's a change underway, but you're not really seeing where it goes, okay? Not really seeing how far down, you can't really see down the road. You're like, okay, well, I just know what's in front of me. Right? I'm just going to pick up this breadcrumb, and then the next thing that happens, I'm just going to pay attention to what's in front of me. Awesome. That's really what's being asked of you. And then simplify your life. There's some things that are probably going to need to go, whether they're relationships or their ideas, mindsets. So I'm going to clarify that a little bit more. I'm going to do for those of you in my tarot class, a modified Celtic cross. If you want to do more on that North Node, there's a link below. We're doing a class later in August, which is more like a workshop. Okay, there's a difference between those two things. One is like I talk and you just receive the information. The other is you're going to work with the information. And I think that that's what a lot of you are asking for from me. So I want to honor that. So let's see about spiritual path here. If this is for you, messages for those watching, please. How this relates to your spiritual path, we'll see. Underneath is the Knight of Swords. Since you can't really see all of this, I'm going to show them to you on screen here. All right, here's where you are. And this is the energy of Saturn. Okay, currently we have 6 planets. Well, starting August 19th, we'll have 6 planets in retrograde. And for those of you members of the channel, I did a live around that earlier today. And we talked about all the planets in retrograde and what they mean and how to work with the energies of them. This, to me, this energy of Saturn is kind of like a really tough teacher, or like a very high-level coach. Somebody who really pushes you and doesn't take your shit and doesn't let you, go watch TV when you really should be meditating or something along those lines. This is also something that you might be tied to, some kind of practice that you might be tied to, or some kind of thing in your life that you're tied to or you feel tied to, and you feel like you don't have the power to overcome it. Okay, so it could be, oh, I'm just on this path. I'm just on this this hamster wheel in my work. I'm in a relationship that feels stuck. Like whatever this is, that's the energy of you right now. The situation is Three of Swords. So something is going to be ending. It feels like it's breakdown. With breakdown comes breakthrough. Okay? So it's okay. It's almost like when you start having these transformative cycles in your life from your spiritual path, it's almost like you kind of get used to, I mean, I don't know if you get used to it, but you kind of are like, oh, here it is again, right? And when you break through to a level and you're like freed and you feel like you can do anything and you're manifesting and all this kind of stuff, boy, that's a good feeling. What happens right before that is usually kind of like a spiritual death. So we talk about the dark night of the soul. We talk about the void, the experience of the void when nothing seems to be happening. But in my mind, really the answer to that is mindfulness. Be in the moment, ground yourself in the moment, and go inside. When you see or feel that in your 3D, your 5 sensory world, that nothing is moving, there's a lot moving inside. Okay, so just if you can keep that as like a little bit of like a, oh, okay, then it's good. Keep that keep that in your thoughts. Okay. Yes, the opportunity is magician, to be a more powerful manifester. I feel like that's what's, you got to break out of a prison here through transformation. So I see Scorpio, I see Capricorn, and I see this is Mars. The magician is Mars, so that can be Aries, right? And that's Aries. If you're an Aries North Node, that's about leadership. If you're a Capricorn North Node, that is about doing the hard work, right? Being a coach, being a tough taskmaster of yourself. If you're a Scorpio, that means going deep into your subconscious, even to like liberate the things that are blocking you. What's the universe trying to say to you? Surrender. Sometimes that's really tough, especially for those of us who have this Capricorn mindset of like, I just got to work harder. Just got to work harder. But that's not really what's being asked of you right now. What's being asked of you is to listen more, to release and surrender. This is the Hanged Man is also about perspective. Perspective is everything. The older I get, the more I realize how. So what I mean by that is an event happens in your life and you can look at it like, ooh, that was bad, or ooh, that was good. You can do that with every single scenario you can think of, right? We do it a lot when someone older passes away, right? You're like, oh, that's kind of sad for the family, but they lived a really good long life, right? And you can look at that like when you get fired or when you get an end of a relationship, you're like a blessing in disguise. That's what that is. It's like a change of perspective. It's not really Pollyanna-ish because everything, just like every single tarot card has a positive and a negative charge to it. How you look at something, your energy of how you look at a thing makes it change. Have you ever read, I forget the name of this book, but it's about water, and it's about, I think it was in Japan, where they talked about the power of words, the vibration of words. And so they had two exactly the same clear glass vase, clear plastic, whatever it was, clear glass vase. And they put the word love in one of them and the word hate in the other. And the presence of the frequency of that word or words separately in each vase, when they froze the water, the crystals looked different. The one with hate looked craggy and like a little bit messed up, a little bit scary even, like some of them were like, ugh. But the one with the love was this beautiful energy, this beautiful kind of crystal that would form.
And I think I was in eighth grade. Somebody did in my eighth grade science class. Somebody did a experiment about speaking love and using beautiful music around one plant, and then putting it in a room with really harsh noises and hate language and stuff at it. And boy, the difference in the growth or lack of growth was marked. So this is all about looking at things a little bit differently. How can you bring, no matter what's going on, can you bring a positive, loving, compassionate energy to the transformation, no matter what's going on, no matter how, like, if you're in fear, if you're in these lower vibration, the way of bringing that into a higher vibration is to talk lovingly to yourself. Your words matter. And it's the same thing with freezing those two vases of water, is you see that if you speak compassionately to yourself, you're more likely to be able to grow in a positive way than if you speak harshly to yourself. Okay? So how we got here, too much overthinking, stinking thinking. All right? Too much overthinking. Where are we going? Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is the card of standing up for yourself, having boundaries, and about learning what's right for yourself and then doing it regardless of, in the face of what kind of opposition. Okay? So it's easy to be doing things that are popular when you're doing things that are good for you that other people may question or may not be for them because for whatever, their own selfish reasons. You got to do what's for you, what's right for you. Okay? And that's just following your spiritual path as much as anything. In the recent past, Three of Pentacles, you've mastered something already. You've mastered a skill. You've mastered something. Working with God, you've mastered something. And then it's like you overworked it, become the devil energy. You've overindulged it or overworked it, and that's going to cause it to break. So now it's about looking at the situation differently and not overthinking it. Look at you showing up as death. Transformation. Again, transformation. Bringing that transformative energy to pass. This is the immediate future, is Two of Swords. It's sort of like, this is fear. This is about, no, I won't let anything in. But the different perspective of this card is, I'm not going to let other people's information, other people's opinions get in. I'm really going to only seek my own counsel. And I've been saying that to you guys for a long time about know your power, know your powers. That's why I talk about North Node and Chiron. North Node is your superpower. If you want to access that, that is going to bring you the energy that you need to withstand whatever's coming. And Chiron is your deepest wound, but it's also your greatest strength. So we're also going to be working on that in August. Okay? So this might be about you not allowing other people to kind of harsh your buzz. Okay? Not allowing other people's opinions to color what you know to be the right thing for yourself. Hopes and fears. This is the true authenticity that is being asked of you to step into. Outcome. Ten of Cups. So what's on the other side of this? Some of you might fear this transformation. Woof. Some of you might fear this transformation. Some of you might think it's an impasse. It's actually the gates of success. It's the gates of what is being calling to you for your next chapter. The next chapter is trying to call to you. So if you're staying in the energy of everything's breaking down, it feels bad, then you're going to stay in that energy longer. Try to reverse your perspective on what's happening right now and embrace what wants to come in, which is actually the Ten of Cups. And the door it comes through is your own authenticity, and you're listening to your guides, and you're paying attention, and you're walking your own path. You're not really allowing what other people are doing. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else, what your progress is or anything. Okay? You're just not going to do that. So the clarification here of that Ten of Cups is that some of you have really walked away from some pretty
compromising situations where you've had to, compromise your beliefs or compromise your values in order to fit into a situation. And now you're like, no, I'm definitely not doing that anymore. I'm just not going to do a thing because a group, an organization, a set of friends, a family, whatever. I'm really going to move on from that. I'm deciding to move on from that. And I'm keeping this 10 of Cups in my sights. 10 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The way to spiritual freedom, the way to love, the way to higher vibration is to be in your authentic self. That is high vibration. That's being in the highest vibration you can be. Okay? So if this has resonated for you, I will continue. I'm going to continue this reading. I am going to give some specific advice. If you have a North Node, because we're talking about spiritual path and mission, if you have a North Node in Scorpio, a North Node in Capricorn, a North Node in Aries, those are the ones I'm going to speak to specifically. Okay, so Scorpio, Capricorn, Aries. If you have a North Node in 8th house, 10th house, or 1st house. So 1st house is the house of you, right? How you are in the world, how you're appearing to the world. The 10th house is your career. And the 8th house is the house of death and transformation. The 8th house is the house of hidden knowledge, things that we prefer not to tell anybody else. This is a magical house, and it scares a lot of people at the same time. Okay? So if you have your placements in any of those locations, and this resonates for you, the link is below if you want to continue on with me. I'll see you over there.